There we go.
Oh, yay. There we go. Why is my head so cut off? I was trying to not have to do this where I have to move the camera because my daughter say, "Mom, you always fixing the camera," and I'm like, "I know. I gotta get the angle
I'm
right."
trying to get it right, honey.
I am so
Okay.
excited. You look amazing.
Thank you. Let me get my life right together too, honey.
I had to start a little later today because I did a virtual audience thing with The Voice today, and that was so much fun.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, and we went a little over, and they still had one more, and I was like, I gotta get off because by the time they finish with this, it's gonna be 6:30. So here we are. Thank you so much for chiming in on this because this was literally just an idea. I needed something to keep my mind in a creative state.
Of
I
course.
found a couple times, well, not to say a couple times, but one time I literally broke down because I had to adjust, not being outside. You know what I mean? I'm an outgoing person. I love
Yep.
people.
Yep.
And to just be in the house, I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to keep my mind going in that creativity? So I came up with this idea to bring on my friends, my business associates, to just have conversations, see what's going on with them, see what they're creating. And you said yes. And I just want to say thank you for this because I'm so grateful for you. Thank you.
No, the pleasure is all mine. I'm excited to be on with you. I miss you so much.
Oh,
I'm so upset at this darn quarantine, honey.
yeah.
As soon as it's over, I am so excited to see you and look at your success. You've done so many of these. You're already on number 10. Are you doing them weekly?
I am doing them weekly. I have
Okay,
decided to do them until the end of December. So December 29th will be my last
cool.
day. Yeah. And then in January, I am planning to launch my podcast. So I
Awesome,
figured this is a
awesome.
cool way to transition, right?
I love it. Yeah,
So
save me a space on the podcast too.
oh, you got that. You definitely got that. I was so nervous that this was even going to happen because my lights kept going off. Like it's like
The
a storm like
storm.
blowing through here. Yeah.
The storm was crazy here. I was nervous because I was like, darn, I didn't tell my husband to take the patio furniture down, and he
Mhm.
already left. So I was looking outside. The umbrella was closed. Well, I can't go
Mine
out
fell
there
off.
now. If it goes, it's just gonna go.
Mine's flew over the fence. I was looking up. I'm like, oh my God, gotta go get the
Trees are
umbrella.
down, electric lines are down. So look, we are here. We are
We are
blessed.
here.
We got
Yes, we
electricity.
are.
We got lights, honey.
Yes, you better tell them. I'm so non-traditional with this because I feel like I've spent the last 10 years being traditional with going through the media, how you say you introduce someone and then you say this and you say that. I did a little bit different with the live conversations. I literally wanted to be just like we're having lunch and sitting or on the phone and talking, which we have done both.
Hmm.
So you can go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself to everyone and give us a little bit of who you are and what it looked
Yes.
like, growing up for you.
Oh, wow. So that's like a whole different question. But
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
let's start with who am I? First of all, thank you guys for joining. How y'all
Yeah,
doing
this is so
today? What
nice.
y'all up to on a Tuesday
Yay!
night? My name is Lena Cohen-Hawkins. I am an international speaker, three-time author, which is what we'll be talking about tonight. My latest
Yes, we
book.
will.
I just
Hmm.
launched it a couple of weeks ago on my birthday. We have phenomenal success for the launch. Number one Amazon bestseller. Number one in my top category. Number four, women in business. So y'all showed up and showed out. Thank you very much.
Yay.
You are coming over here from my life. I do a lot of corporate training on emotional intelligence, which with what we're seeing now that's happening with all the social justice and just the systematic oppression that we're seeing is really, really big. Diversity, emotional intelligence, cultural competency, all of those things that we were fighting for. I remember when I started my business almost 7 years ago, nobody wanted to hear anything about emotional intelligence. Now,
Right.
everybody calling me up. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, y'all.
It
I'm
has
here.
all on me.
You know, but I love
Yay.
what I do. I
Yes,
love what I
more
do with a
coffee.
passion. I am all about personal and professional development. So, work in legislation. I have a nonprofit, But, you know, my main goal is to focus on helping people find happiness, healing, and really moving forward in their careers and in their personal lives, you know?
Yay, that is so great. So where are you originally from?
So, okay, so here we go with the growing up part. Let me tell
Uh-huh,
you my
uh-huh.
book.
You know, I was bringing it back.
So I am originally from Camden, New Jersey.
Okay.
And if anybody knows anything about Camden, we have been rated #1 in violence, #1 in drugs. We've been like worst in the nation for education. It was very difficult. We are much better now, guys. You know, we have built up, you know, our waterfront. The education system is getting a lot better with the addition of charter schools. And I think people are coming together a lot more in terms of politics. We have a lot of people that are from the community, that love the community. So yes, girl, I'm from the bottom of the bottom, girl.
And I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. So I feel like I grew up in an area where it was poverty stricken. Uh,
Hmm.
New York just looked like it was just on TV. You know, for the New Year's when they would drop the ball, I would get in front of the TV and I was just looking. It was just once a dream. And it's
Yes,
amazing to now. I've been
yes.
living on the East Coast for like 14 years now. I just
Mm,
one day decided no more. I need something different. I have absolutely no family here. So
mm.
that's the point of doing this choose your
Yeah,
path, because I want people to know that we need to use this crisis for creativity, you know, to start to build, to start to maybe take that time for us to heal. Because a lot of times we're
absolutely.
so busy that we have all these escapes, the gym,
Yes,
which
yeah.
is great because I love working out. But sometimes it can be an escape from my reality. Now,
Right, right.
if I'm not taking the time to pay attention to what's going on absolutely right now. So how are you dealing with COVID-19? Like, what does that look like in your world?
Well, you know, that's why I wrote the book. I felt like this message of resilience was so timely. You know, COVID-19 is only one of the major
Mm-hmm.
difficulties that's happening right now. For me personally, in addition to COVID-19, I suffered a few significant losses
Mm-hmm.
of people that I was really close with. So I was dealing with grief.
My
Um,
condolences.
Yes, it's been trying. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
is happening on our world right now. I was like, God is putting us through a serious test right now. But you know, going through COVID, going through the grief, and then I was really feeling depressed, like you said, where we're used to being at events, galas, you know, we're going to stuff all the time and we're connected people. We're people that love vibes, energy, and
Yes.
connecting with individuals one on one, and to automatically have that shut off was really difficult for me, and to not know when it was going to open back up. And then just the anxiety of watching the news every day. And then we watched
Mm-hmm.
George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, and that brought back a lot of challenges that I experienced in the past. So COVID is like one piece of it. People are dealing with so much emotional trauma right now.
Yes.
And this book, Brilliant Resilience,
Oh, it's so beautiful. You were with Pink.
well, pink was the exclusive birthday edition. It's blue now.
Okay, all right. Because I was like, oh, what happened to my favorite color? I know that I seen it.
If you
Okay.
don't get a pink one, I can send one to
Yes.
you.
Okay.
But you know, this book is exactly what you were talking about. Resilience is about bouncing back, right? But
Mm-hmm.
brilliant resilience is about moving forward. Brilliance has two meanings. One, the intellectual side. So what can I learn from this experience? What can I
Mm-hmm.
take from this experience to grow? Like you said, what can I do creatively to expand my mind during this time? What am I supposed to get from this experience? Number one. Number two, the second definition of brilliance is to shine, right? While we're going through this, we want to be able to create impact.
Mm-hmm.
So many people forget that your children are watching you, your spouse is watching you, your neighbors, your colleagues. And when you take it upon yourself to take on challenges with a sense of gratitude and positivity and saying, you know what, this is not going to get me down. I'm going to do what I need to do to stay mentally right, to stay physically right, to stay spiritually right. You create an impact in other people's lives and you don't even know it, because they'll say, you know what, if Sherontelle can do it, if she can create a platform in the middle of a pandemic, then I can too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's really what Brilliant Resilience is about. And I'm so excited that, you know, this book really saved me, because I was finding myself days where I didn't want to get up and days where I was like passing by and, you know, just not taking care of myself. And the book really kept me going. Like, all right, I got to finish this. I got to tell my story. I got to
Hi,
be
Cyrus.
I gotta get it out. So it really saved me, and this is the most transparent I've ever been in any of my books.
Really, I was so excited because I love the title. Years and years ago, I don't remember the exact date, I did a collaborative book project, and it's called My Now Entrepreneur, and the title of my chapter was Quiet Resilience. And so, right. So I always felt like I was transitioning and going through life with my own struggles, but doing it quietly. No one knew that I was going through domestic violence. No one knew that I was a rape survivor. No one knew that. It was just so many trials and tribulations along the way that I was going through, but I'm always smiling. I always have that pain behind the smile, right?
Yeah.
So it was just like, when I seen your title, it definitely resonated with me, because it took the quiet and then it turned it into something where now it's shining bright like a diamond. Like, I'm now able to take those struggles that I had 20 years ago and now share them and be comfortable with sharing them on such a platform such as this and on TV. I've been able to share it in so many, you know, platforms, not just for myself, but to be an example, like you said, to say like, hey, I came from where I came from, but this is, look what I was able to create. It did not happen overnight. I had to go through a lot of things, and I still continue to go through. How do you continue to persevere when there was those things like you lose people along the way, or maybe a deal didn't go through that you thought was going to go through? How do you continue to navigate through that?
Well, the interesting part about my book is each chapter is highlighted with an affirmation. So I asked my friends and family members to think about times that I went through difficulties, and then what they did was they introduced the chapters. So then I go back and I talk about, you know, the particular incident and how I got through it. But each chapter is highlighted with a affirmation. So I will read them. Chapter 1 is I am resilient. Chapter 2 is I am strong. Chapter 3, I am transformed. Chapter 4, I am faithful. Chapter 5 is I am conscious. Chapter 6 is I am self-aware. Chapter 7 is I am persistent. Chapter 8, I am not alone. And chapter 9 is I am brilliant. So I needed all of those things at different points in my life. I needed to get through and be self-aware in some situations, or I needed to be conscious about the energy I was bringing to a situation, or I needed to understand that I am not alone. I don't have to go through this situation alone. I can ask for help. I can reach my hand out and say, this is too much. Maybe I do need to go to therapy, or maybe I do need to get assistance in this area. So when you go through the book, you'll see all of these different growth spurts, because that's what challenges do, right?
Yes, they do.
Each challenge, I'm telling you,
they do help us grow.
Each challenge is going to make you stronger for the next chapter of your life. So, you know, I needed to be transformed. I needed to transform my mindset. I needed to understand how strong I was and look at the things I dealt with in the past and say, you know what, if I got through that, I can do it again. So it really took me being, I think, overall self-aware, and especially this time, like noticing, if you know you're not yourself and you're not feeling yourself, it's okay. If you're not feeling like yourself, it's okay. But you have to address it, right? And I knew that the grief and the pressure and the anxiety and, you know, being being inside the house, it was doing something to me. So I said, you know what, I have to address this. And I went back. I personally am a huge advocate of therapy. That's my background. And
Yeah.
that's what I did, you know. But you have to be self-aware to know when you're not feeling like yourself, you know.
You have to be self-aware for sure. I've done therapy in the past because I felt like I needed not a place just for answers, but a place where I could be transparent, a place where I felt like I wouldn't be judged. Because
Yeah,
a lot of times when you're talking to your family members and they have your, sometimes they definitely love you and have their, best interest, but sometimes you just don't want to hear their opinions. You
yeah.
just want someone to just listen and
Listen,
hear you. So I definitely am an advocate that if anyone ever finds themselves in a certain mental state, you don't even have to be going through anything. Sometimes you just need someone to talk to just to navigate through life.
right,
Because as we know,
right.
each day can bring something that is so unpredictable and we don't know how to get through it. And a lot of times I feel like, the therapy thing definitely works. I've even had a life coach at some point because I felt, even with all the success, I sometimes felt like I was stuck. Remember,
Yeah,
I would sit with you. I sat with you
yeah.
and had lunch, and I'm like, I don't know.
What
Like,
the next step
I
is,
don't
right?
know what else is the next step. I didn't even know that I was even going to make it on TV. That's another thing too. Like when you take one step, just going forward and just try it. Sometimes people want to have that whole blueprint in front of them. And sometimes it's just taking that first step.
First step.
And then eventually all the other things just come together. So I definitely congratulate you. I am excited about your new book release because I believe that during this time we need it more than ever. That
Mm,
is the point of these conversations, is to inspire those to create, not so much talk about the problems. We
yeah.
have a lot of, everybody is in their own lane. We have a lot of advocates that are doing a great job. I feel like for my platform that I wanted to bring on those that I know that are creating during this time to inspire those that may be in the dark, so we can pull them out and maybe direct them on how to get to the light. Not
Absolutely.
necessarily, I always tell people I don't have the steps to success and that sort of thing, but I can share my story. I could bring on my friends such as you to bring on and share your story so that maybe they can hear something and take something along the way to help
Yeah.
them. So thank you so much. How I always say this to everyone. A lot of the people that I've spoken to are in music, but I think that this applies to everything. Um, right now we are congested with so much content, right? It's it's so much content, congested. How do you stay distinctive, and how do you communicate that?
You have to be authentic. You know, you
Thank
can't,
you, Miriam.
you have to be really strict, right? So I
Hmm.
try not to consume myself with other self-help gurus or other life coaches or other people that are in my space. I try to make sure that I'm first and foremost connected to my higher power, because I do believe I am the physical manifestation of God and what he wants to express to the world. So when I
Yes.
am connected to him, and when I am reading and I'm praying and I'm journaling and I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, I know that whatever he has for the people, for the viewers, for the ones that are coming that may need help, I know that I'll have a special connection with them. So I think it's just about authenticity, being genuine, and being connected. You know, that's how you can kind of make sure that you're not taking in too much content from people who are in your same industry.
Right, exactly. Do you feel that we fulfill our mission, or are we continuously creating it until the day that, you know, we pass on?
Yeah, it's, you know what's interesting? We always think we know. Like, right, we got a plan and
Yeah.
we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. And as you know, it don't always work out like that, right?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And you know, most of the time I always say that's for the better, because sometimes what God has for me is greater, bigger, and better than anything I could have imagined because my mindset is not there yet, you know? So I would say we're always continuously learning and growing, and never get too invested or so caught up in a plan that you lose sight of the opportunities that could be right in front of you. But you may miss those opportunities because you have a one-track mind that it can only be this way, it can only go this way, opportunity only looks this way. But the universe is, y'all seeing
It's
what has happened this
vast.
year so far. You know, you
Yeah,
can
it's
count
vast.
your chickens before they hatch. So you have to be open to going with the flow sometimes.
One of the things that I've learned since this pandemic is that I'm not in control.
Mm-mm.
that
Yeah.
is the number one lesson that I've learned since we've been in this thing, is that I'm not in control. I also have learned that the most important people in my life is my family. And
Mhm.
I needed to make sure that they're okay. I need to make sure that I'm okay. And I
Yeah.
did take a step away. I think I took like a week off from
Yeah.
social media
Yeah.
because I felt like I was feeding my subconscious mind with a lot of sadness
Yeah.
and brokenness and a bunch of things. It's so easy to get into what's going on if
If you let it.
if you're not right and your chakras are not balanced. It
Yeah.
is so easy to do that. Um, what advice would you give someone who is like on their way? They're on their way to completing their goals or on their way to their success. What advice would you give them?
I would say make sure you are doing a lot of internal checks, right? Like, do my thoughts, actions, choices, and decisions match the person that I want to be, right?
Mm.
Because that's how we
Hi, Alvin.
continually grow. Um, is what I'm doing now aligned with the person that I want to be? Success comes in so many different forms. And when we look at success, are we looking at personal success? Are we looking at professional success? Are we looking at monetary success? And I personally believe you can't have one without the other, right? Because if you're not fulfilled in your career or in your purpose or what you're doing to make money, then you're not going to be nice at home, you know? And if you're going through stuff at home, then you're not going to be able to perform your best at work as a creative. So those two have to go hand in hand. And that's for me is success. When you can find happiness in both areas. And I don't like the term when people say like work-life balance.
Oh, yes. I hear that a lot.
It's all the same. Like if I'm not happy in either one, it's gonna affect the other. So I would say if you're on your way to success, kudos, just keep on striving. Don't ever give up, be resilient and, just make sure that you're doing those internal checks. Because I don't think that we look at ourselves in the mirror enough to say, who am I? And you
Mm.
can get lost as you start to become successful. And that has happened to me when, I always have this constant struggle of this woman that I am now, honey,
Snaps.
and that little brown girl from Camden, New Jersey, and I have this internal struggle constantly about who am I and then how people respond to me. Because oftentimes, people will talk to you and greet you and communicate with you because they know this person and they'll almost forget about where you came from. So I think you have to remain true to yourself, and just keep whatever religion or God, universe, whatever, make sure that you are connected first and that you're always seeking internally for answers, not externally.
Absolutely. I think it definitely starts from within. There is this quote that I want to share because it's one of my favorite quotes. And I'm going to read it because I don't want to miss not one word because words are very important. One of the greatest enemies of fulfillment of purpose is the procrastination and broken focus. I'll say that
Mm.
again. One of the greatest enemies of fulfillment of purpose is procrastination and broken focus. And that was from Dr. Cindy Trim. I always have to give the author their credit. That is one of my favorite quotes because for a long time, I realized over the years that a lot of times people don't even know what it is that they should be doing. They can't even point out what their focus is.
Right.
They don't know what they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you manage to stay focused? And two-part question.
So back to my first book.
Uh-huh. Yes, bring it back.
Baby, my very first baby was called Stop, Drop, and Roll, Life-Changing Tools for Success. And that was stop procrastinating to create a sense of urgency for yourself. So when you're not really connected to the that passion and that desire, you can oftentimes you start procrastinating, right? You'll say, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the time to do this. Or this person, that person, my kids, my husband, this, that. You'll come up with all these excuses when actually you just need a plan. You need some dates. You need some accountability. You might need a coach. You might need an accountability partner, a friend that you know, like, and trust that's not going to poo-poo on your dreams. But it's all about starting today. Focus, which would be the second one, drop negativity. People, places, and things that are hindering your destiny. Oftentimes, like you said, we'll have people and places and things in our life that we know we need to separate from. I tell you, when I say people, places, and things, y'all already have something, someone, or a habit of yours in your heart that you know you need to separate from, that's keeping you from really, really achieving success or getting to the next level or reaching whatever it is, and you just keep holding on to it. You want a level 10 blessing, but you holding on to level 3 people, places, and things.
That is very interesting.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Yes. I think for me, sharing a little bit about me, I held on to that little girl from Cleveland, the little girl that was bullied, the little girl somewhere inside. I felt like I wasn't worth the success that I was gaining. A couple years ago, I was offered a very big deal. I can't really share too much about it because there's a disclosure that I signed, but I can't say that the deal was on the table. I was excited. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm getting ready to be a multimillionaire. This is really happening. There was a big part of me that was afraid, but then there was also that other side of me that my integrity, I felt, was at risk if I was to take this. But I do want to address that part of holding on to the little girl, because that's what was causing the fear. That was what was paralyzing me from reaching the level that I needed to reach at that time. So I absolutely love it. And I recommend definitely everyone that's on here to get all of your books, because we all need that. Sometimes we live on the what if island. Yeah, I always say, I heard this guy saying, he was like, sometimes we live on this what if island. What if someone talks about me? What if this happens if I take this? And what if all these what ifs, and not realizing that it's literally holding us back.
If COVID hasn't taught me anything, we always say, oh, life is short. We have to do it now. We have to do it today, this and that. And I'm a true believer in that. But COVID has really shown us that you literally could be here today and going tomorrow. And it's like, ain't no sense in tiptoeing to your death, okay? If you want to do it, do it. If you
I'm saying hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I know. Let's give them some shine for a second. Hey, Glamel, hello. You gotta say hello, right? Hey. Yes, it has.
But if you've been having a desire to do something, start something, create something, be something, go somewhere, do whatever it is, What are you really waiting on?
Do it now.
Just do it.
Just do it now. What does a creative process look like when you were creating this book that you recently just released?
Well, I had the content for a while. Brilliant Resilience was a workshop, and I also was a part of an anthology a few years back where I did a small passage on Brilliant Resilience. But for me, and this is also in my first book, my creative process is very strict. I create a schedule for myself. I sat down 10 days straight. I turned my phone off from 9 to 5 and I wrote 10 days
Wow.
straight. Like and maybe I might have gone to the last chapter, and I'll tell you how good God is. When I got to the last chapter, I stopped and
Uh-oh, we
I
froze.
said, let me read it from the beginning so that I can know how to bring it all together. So when I did
Oh, we
that,
froze.
oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay,
Oh, there you are. Okay.
okay.
Yes, you're
So I
back.
got to
Okay.
the last chapter and I said, let me read it from the beginning so I can know how to really close it and bring it home. I
Hmm.
got to the last chapter and then I lost my uncle, and then I started, having, sometimes when somebody dies, communication in the family gets broken, history, old stuff gets brought up.
Yes.
It was a very difficult place for my family. And I stopped writing for a while. And then, like, all of this other stuff started happening. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it was meant for me to experience these things to really bring the end of the book home. So, after about maybe a few weeks or a month, I started writing again. And I just said, you know what? It's crazy. My girlfriend called and was like, I thought you said you were writing a book. And I was like, yeah. She's like, God laid it on my heart to tell you, don't wait, put it out now. And I was like, what? Like, I haven't talked to this girl in like a year. And I said,
Wow.
I'm gonna put it out on my birthday, and that was my goal. And that was literally, I maybe had like 3 weeks to publish, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna turn my phone off and get it done. So I like to be in my little cocoon. That's my creative space. I don't like to be bothered. I want to be in my own aura. I like to be private.
Yeah. Shish.
Yes, I want to lock it down. I don't want to be disturbed. My creative juices be flowing.
You're so funny. I know I'm like checking the time because can you believe like an hour goes by really fast? We're at
It
6:45.
does
So
go
we're
by
doing really
fast.
good. We're doing
We,
actually really good on time. We're like
we
at
are.
6:45. So we have like 10 more minutes. So tell me a little bit about what these words mean to you.
Okay.
I was, for 10 years, over 10 years, I've been working as a celebrity music publicist. So I spent a lot of time in music studios. So I absolutely love sound, music, frequency,
We had this
energy.
conversation,
Yes. So it's like,
which I
explain a
need to come back
little
to
bit.
because I'm ready to start writing again. I
You
got some new
are.
stuff, so
Yes. So
we gotta have a separate conversation.
yeah, so come on back with it because I know my friend, he just offered for me to be, he just started a record label.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, and he was on the live and he said, I can't even believe that he said, I haven't even announced it to the public yet and I'm announcing it on your live. I'm like, that is so great. So I am definitely going to take the position because I walked away from music for a couple of years to start the speaking business, but I believe
Yeah,
that I'm a creative person, so I can do
yeah,
both. I can
yeah.
definitely do both. I absolutely love music. How important do you think? Let's just start on frequency. Let's just say
Okay,
frequency for right
okay.
now. Let's start with that word. How important is that?
It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Energy is everything that is and everything that we are. And we are attracted to and we bring to what frequency and what wave and what energy and what vibe we are on. I know that for me, when I was in my deepest, darkest place, the people that I attracted to myself, the situations I attracted to myself were an exact reflection of the frequency that I was on. and an exact reflection of the energy that I was carrying at the time. So the same way that you guys can feel me and Sherontelle right now, the
Yeah, it's
love, the
it's
creativity,
definitely
the
genuine.
vibe, that's who you're going to be attracted to. Those are the situations you're going to be attracted to. So I think it's highly important for people to look beyond I would say the eye, what meets the eye, right? And start really digging into just how important energies and frequencies are. I'm a very spiritual person, so I don't want to start, that's like a whole nother, we could do a whole nother
Oh, right,
session.
that's what I was like.
We could
All
do a
these
whole
words, you could do
session on
a whole
frequency and
course
energy,
on it.
baby.
You could do a whole course on it. For
We could
me,
do a whole other
frequency
section
is
on frequency.
frequency is so important. I always say that the environment, it definitely does not determine. I mean, obviously, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. It doesn't determine your destiny. Your mindset definitely does. Once I decided to change my mind about what I was okay with, once I
Yeah.
started to learn how to love myself,
Yes.
because I didn't even know what that was. You know what I
Ooh.
mean? Like I thought I was, but I really
Ooh.
wasn't, because you don't let people treat you any kind of way when you loving
Come
yourself.
on.
You know what I mean? You don't hang out with certain people if you loving yourself. It's a bunch of things. Ring, ring,
Okay.
snap, and a one, and a two, and a three. So
In,
when I
in
when
the
I
very
realized that,
In the
whole
last
life changed.
chapter, I Am Brilliant, I talk about how important it is to love yourself enough to whatever it is for you. Love yourself enough to get up when you don't feel like getting up. Love yourself enough to work out when you don't feel like working out. Love yourself enough to meditate when you don't feel like meditating. Love
Mm-hmm.
yourself on a supernatural way and see what happens next.
Don't it? Don't it change? Because there's a lot of times when I was going to the gym, I'm not going to the gym now. I want to be safe. But when I was going to the gym, I didn't always feel like going. But then when you look 6 months or a year or whatever later, you're like, wow. And once you get in, I mean, if you work
Yeah,
out,
you feel it, and you're like, you get excited, and you get stupid, and get your music on, and you get to jamming, and you go, and you feel so much better. You feel so much better, like, whoo,
I'm
I
glad
did
I
that.
did that.
Yeah.
And like attracts like all of these people so far. I put all the pictures together, and I just had to say thank you, because these are really people that I know. And that's what happens when you start to change your
Yeah.
mindset and change your thoughts.
Yeah.
You start to attract a different type of people,
Yes.
a
So true.
different type of people, right? So I'm excited. I'm just excited about what's to come. I ask God to give me strength for what I can't control sometimes. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I don't know. I let the tears flow. Let them flow. Sometimes people feel like when you have reached a certain level of success that you don't have troubles. I come to say today, yes, you do. That
Who said
doesn't,
that?
maybe not in a financial
Who
way,
said that?
but
Who
you
said that?
definitely, right. Like troubles don't happen to,
They're
like
just different troubles. Sometimes they're
when
big.
I was listening to the guy, not to cut you off, I was listening to the guy on The Voice, and he was saying how he was like, sometimes we put the celebrities and those of a certain caliber of success on a pedestal as if they're not real people, and we are all
You're
real
human.
people having a real human experience,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
I celebrate you. I always have.
Thank
I have to say that
you.
I celebrate you. I am so excited for everything that you are doing now and what you have to come. If someone's to say, "What is your mission?" Well, I want to know.
To
What is
love
your
and be
mission?
loved, to love and be loved, just, I'm all about, this is my new, like, I always say, oh, get people from point A to point B, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
professionally or personally, but, COVID has really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And, I just want to be pure love. I just want to give good vibes. I want to help people in any way I can. If they need motivation, if they need inspiration, like you said, if they just need somebody to listen, I just want to be that vessel to be able to help people get to wherever it is that that next chapter is. They may not know, we don't always know the destination, but if we can, like you said, put one foot in front of the other, and if they need like a little push, need like a little push,
Just a little.
push. If they need a little push, I want to be there to, just to support them and to provide that. Like you said, we don't always have friends, family, or a circle that is strong enough yet, or supportive enough yet, or that see the dream the way you see it. And when you don't have that, you need to be able to vocalize, hey, I need a little push. I need a little support. I need a little love.
I want to say also thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for taking out the time to have lunch with me and let me know that I could do it. Working as a publicist has afforded me the opportunity to work behind the scenes. I did not have to go out. I mean, there are a lot of publicists, obviously, that go to a lot of the events and the red carpets and stuff. For me, I did not. I just went to my first red carpet some years ago when I was a part of the Tyrese last album. And he did like a short film, Shane. So I was able to do that. And after that, I don't know, after I got out of ICU, and that's a whole nother situation, but I'll just say it really quickly because I know we have a few minutes. It just gave me a different perspective that I needed to share. And I needed to actually start to come out more. So this Instagram live conversation is one of those things where it's a part of me coming out of the shell that I have been in for so long and not wanting to show my face and not really caring about my name on credits of things that I've written. So I just want to say thank you for that. If someone is looking for you and they want to work with you, they want to get your book, where do they find you?
First of all, you can get the book on Amazon, Brilliant Resilience. This is the exclusive B-Day edition. So this is the pink one. When you go on Amazon, it will be blue. But if you want to follow me on all the platforms, I'm Lena Cohen-Hawkins, and my website is Lena Cohen. So I would love to connect with you guys. I would love to talk. If you get the book, please let me know what you think about it, what stories resonated with you, what gave you strength, what pushed you, and then make sure you leave a nice little note on Amazon so people can go and get the book.
Yay. Thank you so much for your time. All the best with your radio interview this afternoon.
Thank you.
Evening, rather, because I have one right after here too, but he gave me the 7:15, so I'm good.
This was so much fun. I love joining you tonight. This was so amazing.
So much.
I have
good. I'm going to eventually put all of these conversations on YouTube. So once I do that, I'll let you know so you can check it out.
I would love to get a copy of it because, the interview is all about the questions and the vibes and the energy that comes from the interviewer. And you were great tonight. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to have a cool conversation. I didn't want it to sound too much like an interview because I feel like I'm tired of those.
Yeah.
I just want to have a conversation.
No, this was like a girl. This was like a chit chat.
Yes. Thank you so much. All the best. All the best on all of your success. Thank you so much for your time. All love, light, energy. Mwah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Oh my goodness. That was great. I am so sorry that I had to start a little bit late today because I did this really cool virtual audience appearance for The Voice today. But I am so grateful to have my friend come on today, Lena Cohen-Hawkins. She is an amazing speaker. I got to hear her live, and she was supposed to speak at one of my events, Unlock Your Fears and Release Your Fullest Potential this year. But due to COVID, all of the events got canceled. So that's okay too, because now we're having these conversations because I want people to know that, thank you, that you can, hey, Miriam, hey, Glamel, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Girlfriend, thank you so much for chiming in. And everybody is so many, I can't even say like, hello, Alvin, if you're still on, thank you so much for chiming in. I just want people to know, honestly, that we can create during this time of crisis. Like, this is a perfect time, not only just to create, but to heal, to go within and really think about those things that we want to create, we want to see. I did. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I'm so happy because I did not want to butcher it because I definitely appreciate your support. These lives literally was just an idea. I felt like if I continue to keep myself around positive people. Thank you, Tamisha Ramirez. Thank you so much for that comment. I felt like if I can continue to be around those that create, that would continue to inspire me. I wanted to show that even though there's a lot of pain and people that are grieving and so many other things that are going on in this time right now, that we can still try to keep our sound mind, because we don't want to lose our mind in this. We want to survive this thing. And so through these conversations of bringing on people that I know that have done some amazing things in this world to inspire us so that we can also create. So thank you so much for your time. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm doing we got like 2 minutes. Anybody have like any questions? That would be so cool. I am up for questions. Oh, look at the I know, right? I wore this for TV today. I would have definitely had a t-shirt on and my jeans or some shorts because it is hot right now. I got these huge floodlights on. So yeah, I buy, in all different kinds of places. I love to be online, obviously, because I'm not going out in public. Absolutely not. It's not safe right now. Oh, wow. Thank you, Camille. Thank you so much. Love. We have to. I wrote on my Facebook page earlier that women that support and compliment other women are the most beautiful women in the world to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys for chiming in. I'm like, this is amazing. I didn't even think that I would get 5 people on here, but we'll have like over 100 people on here, and I am so grateful for it. So grateful for it. Yes. Oh, yes. On Thursday, I have an amazing guest. Yes, I'm doing it on Thursday as well. I think for the entire month of August, I have interviews on every single Tuesday and every single Thursday. And I'm also doing 2 other appearances, which you'll see. I'll be posting that. So just stay tuned on my page because I'll be posting those. But on Thursday, I'm going to be speaking to one of the most amazing people. His name is Tu Lewis, and he is one of the most sought out entertainment managers. So you got to check him out. Yes. You got to check him out. Check us out on Thursday. That should be a very interesting conversation. I just want people to share their experiences of how they're dealing with COVID-19 right now, because it's so difficult right now. Like, people are dying left and right. People are losing their homes. 28 million people, I believe, that I heard on the news the other day, that are being evicted. 28 million people. That's a lot of people. I've been through a lot in my life, but it never stopped me from moving forward. So I want to just be that inspiration to say that no matter what it is that you're going through in life, that you can create whatever it is that you want to create. It is not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be worth it. So thank you so much. You guys can follow me. I'm also on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on LinkedIn. I also have a website, SherontellDirskell.com. Check that out. I'm going to be trying to update it soon. I am going to be, that's what I was just telling Lena, that I'm going to eventually put all of these conversations on my YouTube page. So subscribe to my YouTube page too. I have that. I just started that as well. And continue to just be yourselves and be okay with being you, because a lot of times people aren't okay with being themselves, and that could also hold you back. So thank you so much. I am Sherontelle Dirskell, and I am signing off.